What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel, and I am live. It is Sunday. It is 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. I am bouncing over to my channel right now to make sure that I actually am live. Going to go ahead and pop out chat. And I gotta say, folks, that today's show, I'm gonna be completely brutally honest about today's show. I am absolutely unprepared. I've been unprepared before. This is not new, but I don't know that I've ever been this unprepared. I've always had a couple of trailers, a couple of different topics to get into, and today I have nothing. So what I am going to get into is chat. So I'm hoping you guys might have some topics, some subjects that we can get into, maybe even a trailer that you could point me to that I could throw on if there's something going on. Noah is in the building. You know what? I think we have converted Noah, a AR specialist, a Magic Leap guy. I think we're starting to convert this guy over to VR. I think he's starting to see the bigger picture because Noah, what we know, what all of us VR people know, is we know that VR and AR, it's just going to coalesce into each other. You know, it's just going to combine into each other. There's no stopping VR and AR. It's just going to combine into one deal. And, so it's not a big deal from that standpoint. Hold on a second here, folks. I'm trying to get my sound right. I'm using these little earbuds because my hair is wet. I just got out of the shower. So damn hot here. So Noah says, not quite. I just want to try something. Yeah, well, what I was going to say is I was talking about VR and AR, and I truly believe, and I think a lot of people in VR and AR, we all kind of believe this, that VR and AR is just going to merge into each other, that VR headsets are going to continually add more AR, and AR headsets are going to continually try to also provide that VR experience as well. And so they're just going to both converge on each other. And I think a lot of us believe at a certain point, it's just going to be a dial. And you simply will dial in how much of legit reality you want to let in, or dial it out, or how much you want it to be completely immersed in a VR reality with none of your real reality let in. And it's going to be a total mixture, and that's what it's going to be. And Noah says that's right. It absolutely is. The Jordan Complex, it's just going to become XR. Yeah, I don't know what we'll ultimately end up calling it. We got MR, XR, all these crazy names. And I think it's really difficult to try to figure out exactly where it's going to go. The Jordan Complex does say, hey guys, happy Sunday, watching from a church picnic. That is awesome. Supersonic Station is in the house. Happy Sunday. What is up, Supersonic? Bullet Ape is checking in. TJ, VR, take me away. Supersonic says, why can't we play Oculus Go games on the Oculus Rift? I want to play that Evil Dead game. Yeah, it'd be cool if they had like an Oculus Go emulator for the Oculus Rift. Noah says, that's right. ILM X Lab talked about this on stage with Roni in 2016. Yeah, everybody knows it. That's why Facebook, if you look at like Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and what they're doing, they have a whole AR department. They're not going to give up. They're going to be just as involved in AR as they are in VR. And right now we're watching this trailer. It's called The Inner Friend. This is coming to, I believe, PlayStation VR from a company called PlayMind. Just a random trailer that I'm throwing up there. Let me go ahead and grab my normal intro trailer, if I can get back into the swing of things. I was just doing a show earlier today. I should be into the swing of things by now. So here we go. Yeah, did you guys check in? We had a live VR roundtable episode earlier today. Some of you guys were there. We didn't know it, and then we decided at the last minute we're going to go live with VR roundtable. So we did our first live show this time. We didn't include the chat as much as we probably should have, but we were kind of just getting used to the whole situation there. Of course, this is Daily Vlog Live. This is episode 169. And it is Sunday, August 5th. Sunday, August 5th, 2018, episode 169. Fluke says he finally finished Hellblade. Someone posted an uncorrupted save file on the Steam forums for those that need it. You need to get it played, Anthony. And Fluke, I am Mr. Iceberg. I never get deep into any game. I'm only on the very upper mountaintop, and then I jump to the next iceberg. That's pretty much what I do. But you know what? I got a little bit further in Pixel Ripped 1989. I was playing it last night. I tried to play Hellblade. I was having a weird problem with Hellblade. Have you guys ever gone to your Steam library? Let me get off this dumb trailer. My apologies here. I gotta find a trailer. Let me find a trailer. But I was going to talk about, have you guys ever gone to your Steam library and it ends up being this situation where you hit play on the game and the game just doesn't play? Has anybody ever had that happen? I had that happen with me all day last night with Hellblade. Tried to get into Hellblade several different times, and the game just wouldn't start. I probably should have went into like program files, Steam apps, common, blah, blah, blah. Went into the actual folder and clicked on the exe and see if that would work. Noah is talking a little bit here about AR and VR and how it is going to combine. He says that basically you can turn that dial and you could add one element to your reality. You could continue turning that dial and you could start shrink wrapping it and then you can turn that dial all the way and it's full immersive. Yeah, you're going to be able to let in pieces of virtual reality. It's going to be, dude, the future is going to be so crazy. It's going to be the same way it always is, because I know that people in chat right now, you got to know some people out there right now that are 80 years old, 85 years old, maybe 78 years old, and they just don't understand smartphones. They just don't understand the internet, and they really don't want to understand, you know, and we all know these people, right? And all of us are going to get to that age as well. And just imagine the crazy stuff that people are going to have, letting in little pieces of reality, hiding things, just all the crazy things that people are going to have in another 50 years. It is going to be ridiculous. Fluke Rogi says, if you start having problems like that, get Windows reinstalled if you haven't in ages. Yeah, I absolutely need to do that. And he says, install a large SSD while you're at it, and buy a new motherboard while you're at it, and get an 1180 while you're at it. Get some new memory while you're at it. I understand, man. But yeah, you do need to reload Windows sometimes because things just get borked. That is absolutely the truth. Okay, so anyway, we are just playing around here today, folks. We do not have a rhyme or a reason. I guess I could bounce over to Upload VR. Let me change this trailer up. Find a different trailer. I'm just grabbing random trailers from this. I'll put on the ATEX Cybernetic montage. We'll throw that on randomly for a sec. Yeah, so I'm just going to have to go over to Upload VR and see. I don't think there's any news. You know, it's Sunday. I just don't think there's any news. But let me just check the two major websites that I typically check to see if there's news. Number one story at Upload VR, how Survios crafted a creative music VR experience with Electronauts. And Electronauts, that's something I need to get back into. And then they're talking about the biggest releases of the week, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, there is nothing new going on over there on Upload VR. I will now bounce over to Road to VR, double check what's going on at Road to VR, and it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so just nothing happening on a Sunday, so we're just going to have to get into random miscellaneous, I suggest. Fluke Rogi says that Star Trek trailer just reminded me, have you seen Patrick Stewart is going to bring back Picard? Not sure how well that's going to go. He's getting on a bit. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That will be interesting. Some people stay around a little too long, I think, sometimes in entertainment. Some of these people need to just take a long vacation. So, you know what? I'm going to throw on Seeking Dawn real quick because we were talking about this on today's VR Roundtable episode. And I guess Gary didn't really get into this game. Steve didn't really get into it. I mean, they kind of got into it, but they had problems. They had issues with it. Again, I haven't really gotten deep into it, but I was having some fun. I really liked the menu system of this game. Well, at least I'm playing it on the Rift, and I hit like the B button, bam, that menu comes up immediately, and you just stick your hand out to grab the water container. You just stick your hand out to grab the alien burger that will give you some health. You stick your hand out to grab your gun, and it seems to work really good to me. And then on your left hand, you hit one of the menu buttons, and it brings up more of the overall menu, and you grab stuff, you drag it to certain areas. Just kind of playing around with it. Didn't get deep into it. Kind of enjoying it. See, there's a lot of stuff in this trailer. There's a lot of these environments. I haven't seen them yet because I'm still barely scratching the surface. I know, though, the $40 price is a stinger. It is an absolute stinger. So I totally understand why a lot of people might see. There's the menu I'm talking about. You just reach out, you grab the gun. Graphically, it's looking a lot better in this trailer than it does in actual real life. There seems to be almost like an extra layer of Mura that is going on when you play Seeking Dawn, and I believe what it is they're trying to kind of have this like sci-fi kind of a filter over it, similar to Mass Effect. Do you guys remember when you first played Mass Effect and it had like this like weird grain, like it wanted to make it look like a 70s sci-fi movie? I think Seeking Dawn has a tiny little bit of that when you have the website on. So Roy Schwartz is saying Apex menu was similar. Supersonic Station, have you ever tried VR chat? Yeah, I have tried. I tried to get into it one time, and I was like on the outside, didn't quite get in, had some issues. Did try it one time. MG, will Star Citizen have VR support? Supposedly it will. And do you guys remember that other day when I was telling you that there is going to be a certain day when we look at the sky and we can see 1,000,000 stars in the sky, and it really looks like we're looking up at the sky? And I believe well, someone in chat says Star Citizen. That's when we're going to have that he thinks you're going to be able to look up at the sky and it'll really look like the sky. Probably not. MG says, probably when we are 70 years old and don't understand this stuff anymore. Yeah, things will be really crazy at that point. We won't understand it. We'll be struggling to deal with it. But anyways, let's see here. I might as well bounce over to some of these subreddits, though, and see what people are talking about. I'm going to go ahead and check the PSVR subreddit first, just on a lark. And, they're talking about Megaton Rainfall a little bit. It's on sale in the European store. It's going to have a move patch later this month. Remember, this is August 5th, and Megaton is going to hit the Vive and the Rift in about 4 days. We got to remember that. It's going to be interesting to see how people react to Megaton on PCVR. Let's see. 3D movies are talking about that. PSVR demo disc, the aim controller, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really going on over here in the PSVR subreddit. Okay, so let's go ahead and bounce over to Oculus. Oculus, there is some discussion about demos. Should we have demos? Should we not have demos? And this is actually from X Real Games. And, I was showing a trailer of X Real Games of one of their games. They have Zero Caliber coming up. I could throw a Zero Caliber trailer up on the screen here real quick while we are going to talk about this. But yeah, they have a thread. X Real Games is asking, should we have demos or should we not have demos? Are demos good? Are demos bad? And of course, it always depends. The number one response is, I think a free weekend would be a better solution than a demo. It depends on the game, though, because if you gave a free weekend for Pixel Ripped 1989, there's people that could fire up Pixel Ripped and finish the whole game in a weekend, if they just hammered away on it. So it's hard to give a free weekend for certain games. You really kind of need a demo. But yeah, they're talking about considering releasing a demo for Zero Caliber VR. Should they have a demo or not? And one of the things about demos is that's not a word, I don't think. They've hurt a handful of games, I believe. Like Racket NX, I think the demo was so good that a lot of people just got that demo and didn't buy the game because they were happy with the demo. Contagion VR, has that demo helped or hurt them? Some people just play that demo and don't worry about it. Compound, there's a demo where a lot of people just play that demo and they don't worry about buying the game. Has there been a game for you where you just played the demo and you're like, I'm good, this is good enough, I don't need to buy it? See, Terry Blanchard says, mapping the main constellations in video games should not be difficult. Yeah, especially like Skyrim. You know, Skyrim, you would look up and they would have kind of like the constellations for some of your magic and stuff like that. Terry Blanchard says, I'm all for demos as they give you an exact insight into the game. Well, the thing that I love about a demo is at least you get to see, is this game going to run on my rig? Is it running good? What does it look like? I think it's a 50-50 deal. I think for every demos will cause sales to happen that wouldn't have otherwise, and they'll also eliminate sales that would have happened that now aren't because somebody finds out, oh, I don't even really like this, I'm not going to buy it now. Supersonic Station says even an hour demo would be great. Yeah, I think there should be a demo for like Marvel Powers United VR. There should be a demo for that game. Because if they gave it away on a free weekend, I think a lot of people would probably decide, I'm not going to buy it. But if they had a short, sweet demo of Marvel Powers United VR, it could probably get a lot of people to pull that trigger. Let's say Elite Dangerous has something like the closest 100,000 stars accurately mapped. But in Elite Dangerous, are you ever standing on a planet looking up at the sky? Like, is that actually, or are you just talking about like background space, which is cool? That is cool. Okay, so let me go ahead and throw a different trailer on here. But yeah, the discussion is, do demos help or hurt a game? Here's a game that I think this game actually got hurt by the demo. I think their demo was so damn good and gave you so much of the game that I think a lot of people decided, I don't need to buy this game. Racket NX, although when it's on sale, great deal, great game. Steve actually was mentioning, Steve got a TP Cast on VR Roundtable. He got a wireless TP Cast for his Oculus Rift, and he did mention Racket NX was one of these games that was really, he said basically it improved every game, but there are certain games it was even deeper, and Racket NX looks like such a natural as far as that goes. Okay, let's see here. What else can we throw on here? Well, you know, we could talk about Blade and Sorcery. We could throw this trailer on. This is something that we talked about the other day. You know, if we need a topic, we can always go to the violence topic. Violence and blood. It is a backup. It is a standby. Let me go ahead and go back to the Oculus Rift subreddit, see if there's any other news stories to be had. NVIDIA 398.82. Do you guys grab the most brand new NVIDIA updates? I'm always a little bit sketch on that. I usually wait a minute. Daily deal, Racket Fury table tennis is $5. It's 50% off. That's on Oculus Go and Gear VR though. VR Roundtable, episode 92. Oh man, so I guess it's just already up there. Because I got to do, later today, I got to do the timestamps for that video. I got to go through and figure out when I start talking about everything. Yeah, no, not much is going on over here on the Oculus subreddit. I'll take a quick look on the Vive subreddit. Viveport is fragging awful is the #1 subject. I still have never tried Viveport. The reason I've never tried Viveport is threads like this. It always scares me to death. He's saying the selection is garbage, the UI is horrible, and trying to pick a title to add to your subscription list is a total headache. Not even worth the free 6-month subscription I got for buying the Vive Pro. Ouch, that is not a very good review from somebody about Viveport. I know some of you guys must have Viveport, some of you brave souls. I've always just so many stories of like blue screens of death and such. Like all you got to tell me is blue screen of death, and I typically will stay away. Yeah, I'm not seeing much else going on here on the Vive subreddit, so we'll go ahead and bounce back to chat. Let me bounce back to chat. All right, so let's back up a little bit here. Supersonic Station, yes, we need demos. I'd buy more games. Terry Blanchard says, I'm all for demos as they give you an exact insight. Yeah, we talked about that. Even an hour demo would be great. Supersonic Station, can anyone name some good VR horror games for me? I'm on the Rift and still mad no Resident Evil 7. Supersonic, have you tried Organ Quarter? Because Organ Quarter is kind of my go-to when it comes to horror games. The other thing I would try is the very first chapter of The Exorcist for $5. I don't know about buying the whole package, but that first chapter is really good, but it's only like 25 minutes. So you got to know it is incredibly short. Organ Quarter. Let's see, what are some other horror games? Brookhaven Experiment is a wave shooter, but it's like a horror game as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, there's a lot of great horror games. What are some other examples for Supersonic Station? Okay, he's saying, takes too long to load Viveport and always resort back to Steam. Hybrid Energy is checking in. Hello all, I have a Vive Pro. I still have key for 6 months free Viveport. So he hasn't installed it yet, which is not surprising. So Hybrid, I understand you finished Pixel Ripped 1989. I got a little bit closer last night, got a little bit farther in Pixel Ripped. And so why don't I throw on a Pixel Ripped trailer real quick, and I can just kind of mention a few of my updated opinions on it, getting a little bit further in the game. I don't want to like spoil it or anything, but what I've been doing recently is I've actually been playing Pixel Ripped on my Xbox 360 controller, which the reason for that is that way I'm able to use the D-pad and really play that Game Boy game in a much better way. I feel a lot better. I'm playing with that D-pad. I can do it claw style. I actually hold the controller in a claw mechanism, and the reason for that is you can keep your finger on run, and then you just time your jump at the perfect time, and then I can get through some of these Game Boy levels a lot better. But I've gotten through the first level 100%. I've gotten through the second level 100%, and now I am in the third level. But one of the things that I thought was super cool about the second level, when you're in this playground and it's like recess, you take your little Game Gear thing and you hold it up, and it's basically, you're basically playing an AR game. Like if your VR world was the real world, then you're playing AR with your little gear kid at a certain point in the second level where you're kind of shooting these things. And I thought that was a really good idea. Very good idea. Awesome. Pixel Ripped 1989. Honestly, I need to like go off on a little rant about Pixel Ripped, because I believe the developer of this game freaking knocked this out of the park. Absolutely knocked this out of the park. This game deserves to sell incredibly well because the polish, man, every little sound effect, every little cinema, every little thing that happens in this game, it is dialed in. It is a pleasurable experience. There's a lot of cool little things they're doing. Right now we're seeing this weird monochrome world, which you're in that world, you're from that world, and that little guy there, he actually drags you out of that world and puts you into kind of this 1989 world, and then you're playing this Game Boy. And there's just a lot of cool stuff. That little neon area right there, so many little cool things that they do in this game. There are certain points where they have that gear kid and it's flying towards you like a gigantic monolith, like 2001 A Space Odyssey. It's like this gigantic monolith that is coming towards you, and the sound is like, just like this gigantic gear kid is coming right at you. Just so many incredible things. I got a phone ringing in the background, so let's hear some volume real quick.
Right, that's it. Take yourself with that infernal light box to the headmasters at once.
I'm telling you, they really, really killed it on this game. I know that Hybrid finished this in like an hour and a half. Oh yeah, I did shoot the chicken. Yeah, I don't want to get into spoilers, Hybrid, too much, but yes, I did shoot the chicken. That was super cool. There's just so many little touches. And you know what, Hybrid, one of the things that like Steve and Gary were talking about is they're talking about there's tons of like Easter eggs and extra things in this game. So I think even if you run through this game and you finish it 100%, you might want to go back in there and kind of like take a little bit more time the next time and try to check out all these Easter eggs and stuff. But what really blows me away is the audio. Like the audio in this game is truly fantastic. All of the sound effects. This is like it was made by Capcom or Konami or something like that. And I really hope that companies like Capcom and Konami that have a tremendous retro history that they could tap. Imagine if we were playing actual real Castlevania Game Boy games while we're in an experience with a real life Castlevania taking place. I mean, there's so many incredible things that could be done with combining retro and this real world. They knocked it out of the park with this concept. This was a brilliant concept. This isn't the first time that we've seen like the ability to play a retro game in a room. We've seen that before. In fact, the Sega Genesis collection just got updated and they give you a 1992 room and you can play Sonic and all of that. In fact, why don't I go ahead and grab that trailer since I'm talking about it. Let me see if I can find the Sega Classics collection. Oh man, I might have deleted it. Hold on a sec. Oh, I got it. Yeah, so I mean, we've seen this before. Here's the Sega one, and you can see it's like, they make like a 1992 room that you can play in. Let's check it out. They give you a 1992 looking room. You can look all around your room. You got Sonic posters on the wall. You got your guitar. You got your little bulletin board. Your Golden Axe poster. You got all your Genesis games over there. This is pretty cool. So, I mean, we've seen nostalgia like this, but I just believe like Pixel Ripped is doing all that nostalgia, but they're doing something else at the same time. It's like if you were in this kid's room, but at the same time you're babysitting your sister and there's like an invasion going on or something. They're adding something extra at the same time. SAMIK81 says, I tried Sega Collection in VR. You can play in big screen or in living room with TV view. I got to imagine the living room one is the cooler way to do it. Hybrid Energy says, for the Sega Collections VR, my problem is still that I can't reset position. There is no key for it so I can get closer to the TV. That's kind of lame. Yeah, and they give you a really small TV in your little retro world. The fingerprints on the Genesis, that is super smooth, or Mega Drive, as we also call it. Look at the power bricks on the power strip down there with all the different AC adapters. I mean, that's cool. They have all the right power adapters there. So yeah, I mean, the retro thing is cool, but just going back to Pixel Ripped, what I'm trying to say is that the mixture of retro gaming and the world that you're in at that time, I think there's just like unlimited possibilities that we could be thinking about. Wait till Nintendo. I mean, imagine Nintendo has to take a look at something like Pixel Ripped. I really, truly hope that somebody at Nintendo has taken a good look at Pixel Ripped and they understand, like Miyamoto, You know, Miyamoto should be seeing Pixel Ripped. If he sees this and sees all the creative things that they're doing here, I mean, he would just be smiling ear to ear if he tried Pixel Ripped, and all the polish and shine that has been lavished on this game. Every little sound effect, it's just so good. SAMIK81 says, if you have Oculus, you can reset it with it. So you can play the Sega Collection on Oculus? It will work on there? Because I know it works with PSVR. Supersonic Station is saying Pixel Ripped is great. More devs should think outside the box like they did with this game. Hybrid Energy says, I agree, very polished. The main theme was stuck in my head after I was humming it. Yeah, for me, it's the polish. It's just so much polish, so much production value. It does not seem like this was made by an indie developer at all. It seems like, you know, it seems like it would be sponsored by Oculus or Sony, and like they really helped with the game. It does not seem like it was just an indie developer. Hybrid Energy says, Nintendo puzzles me. For being an innovative company that gave us Virtual Boy and the Wii, their lack of VR interest is weird. Well, Nintendo has notoriously been weird. They've always been weird. If you think about like online gaming and having like a gamer tag and having having like an online account and all of that, like Nintendo was last to the party with all of that. They still haven't completely figured everything out in terms of like, if you buy a game under your Nintendo account, does it transfer over to new hardware and all that stuff? They've always been really backwards with all of that. And I honestly think Nintendo is going to be dragged kicking and screaming into VR. They'll probably be a little bit more lenient on AR. And a lot of it is, what is Nintendo all about? They're about the children. And when you turn on a PSVR game, it says right there on the screen that Sony does not recommend children under the age of 12 use PSVR. So Sony's recommending if you're 11 years old and under, you shouldn't be in VR. And they're doing that purely for legality reasons, but Nintendo has to consider these things as well. And Nintendo is a child-friendly company. I mean, that's where, you know, that's their bread and butter. Their bread and butter is that you're going to be buying 3DSs and all kinds of things like that for your kids, because your kids have to have Nintendo with Pokemon and all the little properties that they have. Nintendo Switch, incredibly popular. And so I just don't believe, I believe Nintendo, it's unfortunate, but they're going to be dragged kicking and screaming into VR. They will be late to the game. He's saying you can use Oculus Reset View while playing Steam games. So no matter what Steam game you're playing, you can still reset your view. But can you play the Sonic Collection VR in Steam? I know you can play it on PSVR. Terry Blanchard says, I think Nintendo have been awaiting the arrival of better CPU and GPUs to power their system for the future. I think they could possibly announce a new VR system by 2019. Nintendo will eventually get in the VR game. They'll get in there because they know. I mean, anybody knows. You put on these headsets and you start seeing the kind of visuals that we're seeing, and there's rare circumstances where you are literally transported to another world for brief periods of time, and you completely forget where you are, and you are totally immersed in that experience. They have to know that VR and AR is basically unstoppable, and they know they're going to get aboard the train at some point in time. But if you look at Apple, you know, Apple is being very patient. Apple does not want to come out with something that looks goofy and obnoxious. They are going to take their time. Nintendo is taking their time as well. For Nintendo, it's not about not looking goofy and obnoxious. I think it's more of just the age category that they're catering to. You know, they don't even do 3D on their 3DS anymore, right? Have they kind of backed away from like 3D altogether? So Nintendo, it seems like they've kind of changed their mind about 3D. I think that could be a factor when it comes to VR as well. Hybrid Energy says, I'm sorry guys, I'm on the Vive. I can't reset the position like you guys recommend. Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on there in terms of resetting the view. Terry Blanchard says, I hope the next retro version of ET is better in VR. What ET game have we had? The only one I know of is the old Atari 2600 one. I don't know. ET is a hard game to do. Have you guys ever played that game, though, Face Your Fears? Don't they have like a UFO thing during that game, which is kind of cool? It's on Oculus. It's like a little free demo. Okay, let's see. I'll throw on a different trailer here. I'm just throwing on random trailers in the background. No rhyme or reason. This was that Street Fighter thing on HoloLens real quick. I thought maybe I could bounce back over to the subreddits real quick. Just get one more check to see. Is there... You know what? Let me check the Magic Leap subreddit. What are people talking about in Magic Leap? Because I know a launch is imminent. They have a post here called The Silence is Deafening. What could they be up to? See, everybody in Magic Leap world is wondering when this thing is going to come out because Roni Abovitz, who tweets on a regular basis, has gone on radio silence until launch. So everybody thought, like any day now, this thing has got to launch because Roni can't stay silent very long. And so they're still kind of wondering about that. Obviously, Monday, tomorrow, and Tuesday, these are great possibilities for Magic Leap to potentially launch. A launch is very imminent, but we don't know if any regular citizens will be able to buy it, assuming anybody would want to buy it. You know, it's a mixed situation. I'm still interested in it. I'm not giving up on Magic Leap quite yet. I need to have a first-hand demonstration of Magic Leap before I decide, okay, Magic Leap sucks. I'm going to give it that. Just looking around at the Vive subreddit. Nothing going on there. PSVR subreddit. Nothing really going on over here. And then the Oculus subreddit. And nothing really going on over here as well. So yeah, just not much jumping off today, but I wanted to come up on here, do a live show. You know, it's commitment. It's one of those things. Let's see. Nintendo busy selling people cardboard. Supersonic Station. You know, that Nintendo Labo is actually really cool. I really think, I mean, all of that is really cool. It's very interesting what they did there. We don't need to bury in the desert any more E.T. games. E.T., you know, I want to see a Fire in the Sky game. Remember that movie I told you about, Fire in the Sky? Give me the game for that. I'll do that game. I want to, you know, getting abducted onto an alien craft and dealing with aliens. It could kind of be like a horror thing. That would be super cool. Oh, Mame Fan is checking in. Anth, did you get Doom controls working? Unfortunately, no. I haven't tried it again today, but I'll tell you what. I have sampled a little bit of Doom. Do you guys know Doom there's a new mod for it that you can play on your Oculus Rift and your HTC Vive, and it is pretty freaking incredible because it gives you actual motion controller support for your gun, so you can actually move your gun around. So you have this little pixelated pistol that you're moving around. It looks super cool. Unfortunately, I couldn't enjoy myself in the game because both of my Oculus thumbsticks, I tried to push forward, you know, try to go forward or whatever. I could not move forward. Now, if I went over to my keyboard and I used my arrow controls, I can move around no problem. And oh my God, it looks super cool. I really want to get in there. I want to try Doom. I want to try Heretic. There is a lot of cool stuff with that old Doom mod. Definitely want to check that out. US Park Talk says, played Powers United as the Hulk for the second time since I bought it. Was fun at first, but got repetitive after 15 minutes. Ouch. You know what? I do really like the Hulk, though. I like the Hulk and I like Spider-Man. If I'm playing Marvel Powers United VR, those are the two characters I like. The game is just so freaking monotonous, though. I was in this one part. I was playing as Spider-Man on an ice level, and it was just going through stage after stage after stage after stage. You know, you got to defend this thing, and you got to grab these power cells. And it's just a million foot soldiers. You're grabbing them, you're slamming them together. You know, you're grabbing them, you're just flinging them off into mountains. and it's rinse and repeat, and it's just ridiculously monotonous. And it's a damn shame because the game is incredibly colorful. There's a lot of visual quality and stuff that is going on in Marvel Powers United VR. There's a reason that thing is damn near 56 gigs. Hybrid Energy says, I got Doom working, but the fast, smooth motion started to make me ill, so I took a break. I'll give it another chance. Wolfenstein 3D, that's the other thing. Oh my God, those German shepherds coming at you. That is so cool. I got to get my retro buddy. I got a good buddy named Chris. He actually has a YouTube channel. It's called Classic Gaming Quarterly. He does really good retro videos. I got to get him to come over here. When I get Doom and Wolfenstein 3D and Heretic, when I get all those working right, I'm going to say, Chris, dude, you got to come over here. You got to check this out. I think he would really like Compound as well. I think Compound would really speak to him. Main Fan is saying old Doom, the first one, Doom number 2, and Heretic. He says, might be because the game window wasn't active. Well, no, that was like to get into the options. Like there's some, I'll have to screw with it again. I don't know what's going on. I'll have to screw with it again. It was unfortunate because everything was working fine. I was moving the gun. The game was not paused. I was in the game. It was music and everything. It's just my sticks, nothing would happen. I pushed them, nothing would happen. I thought maybe it was because my Xbox 360 controller was connected and that was interfering with something. But I tried it again with that disconnected. Didn't seem to change it, so I don't know. But anyway, folks, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's show. I do have a reminder that tomorrow we are at 2:30 p.m. Pacific. So this same time on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Yes, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So 4 days in a row, we're going to be at this later time of 2:30 p.m. And then on Thursday, we will return to 11 a.m., Friday, 11 a.m., Saturday, 11 a.m., next Sunday, next Sunday will be 2:30 again because there will be a live VR Roundtable episode as well. And those are at 9 a.m. on Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific. But I will see everybody tomorrow on the show at 2:30 p.m. I'll check you guys then. Take it easy. Later.